Hey, what's going on, everybody? Mike with Run Dead Run podcast with a recap of week 10 and a look forward to week 11 of the 12-week half marathon plan. For those of you just joining me, this is the Hal Higdon Novice 2 half marathon plan that I'm running, and I have a half marathon date of October 24th. So this is the Lighthouse Loop half marathon here in Port Orange or Ponce Inlet, Florida, and it is a virtual option this year. Obviously, we know why. We're not going to get into all that, but just wanted to recap this past week. And first, I wanted to do a public service announcement for everybody out there. So I really appreciate you guys when you're driving, letting me go. You know, you let me cross the street, or you let me do what I need to do, and you take extra precaution, and it really helps me a lot when I don't have to worry about what you're doing. That being said, I need you, all of you, and myself included, to be clear as to what exactly you're doing. Hand gestures are great. Here in Florida, you can tint the windows pretty dark on the driver's side front windows. So if you're at a stop sign and there's a crosswalk that I'm trying to run through, I can't see into your window to see you. Or even when you're coming and you're turning right in front of me and I'm trying to go through that crosswalk. I had a guy in a van tonight. That's all I got from him. I assume he was saying go ahead, but I don't know what that means. There was no hand gesture, no flash of the headlights, no wave me on, nothing. So please, public service announcement, when you're helping somebody out, a runner, I don't care if it's an old lady, someone riding their bike, going through a crosswalk, and you're in a car, give them a hand signal, something simple so that they understand what's going on. And especially in a state where you can tint those side windows, even if it's 95 degrees out and 87% humidity, put the window down, stick your hand out, and give that person a wave. It helps them understand and be sure of what you're going to be doing. Because I had one tonight where I was coming up to a crosswalk. I didn't see any cars coming. And within 5 feet of me entering the crosswalk, someone blows right through the stop line into the crosswalk. And she rolls down her window, "Oh, sorry about that." And of course, you know, I didn't say what I wanted to say. I just said no worries and ran around her back bumper and kept going. And then I had, you know, coming back home into my neighborhood, my neighbor, in fact, was waving me like, go ahead. And there was car coming from the right, car coming from the left. She was pulling out onto the main road and a car behind her. I was just like, no, you go ahead. I'm going to be here for a while. You go ahead. So she pulled out and I gave her the friendly neighborly wave. But I want you all, please, some kind of signal. Don't just sit there staring at me, because when in doubt, I'm going to wait for you. You're 3,000 pounds, and if you hit me, I'm in big trouble. You know, you're protected. Obviously, runner's not going to do anything to you. So do us a courtesy. Give a hand signal. Go ahead. I see you. You see me. I always wave back. Someone gives me a courtesy, I wave. Give them a salute or a thumbs up or a hearty wave. Sometimes both. I see them, they give me a go ahead, I give them a wave, and then when I'm through, I give them the thumbs up again. Like, I made it, thank you, I appreciate it. Same thing from the car, you know, you're coming up, you're turning right, turning left, whatever. Go ahead, give me the wave. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. But it happens more often than you think. I live on a relatively busy street. It's no outlet, so you know, south of my street, there's nothing but developments and houses, and north just maybe half a mile, there's no outlet. It's all residential. You know, we all live here, work here, go to school here. So, you know, it's not like these are cars on the highway passing through. These are people that live within a mile of where I live. And, you know, I give them the neighborly benefit of the doubt, and I expect them to do the same, and very often they don't. You know, everybody screws up. I've blown through a stop line into a crosswalk before. I did it once when I was 17 or 18 years old and got an earful from a woman on a bicycle. And I've done my best, since to not do that, but it happens, and I understand that. As a runner, it's a pet peeve of mine, and I try to do my best to avoid those things. But listen, if I do it once a year and that person just did it once a year, it happens. I don't want to be on their bumper the one time it does. So those two things, I'll end it there. I wanted to show you guys this. I got my shirt from the Tunnel to Towers. Never Forget Virtual Challenge. It came in the mail. It's got some nice stuff on the back. And I actually sent an email to the they did it this year. I think it was through Eventbrite, one of the many companies out there that do the coordination for runs and things like that. And I sent an email saying, hey, it's been, I forget now, 4 or 5 weeks since I signed up, and the response I got was amazing. They said, I'm paraphrasing, we didn't think we'd get this many entrants. We're doing the best we can. If you don't receive it by next week, please let us know. To me, that's awesome. Like, are you kidding me? They had more people sign up and do the run than they expected. It just warms my heart, makes me so proud to be not a part of, but supporting a foundation that's so great. And if one of you signed up, it's just awesome. I think you may even they may have extended it. I don't know. Anyway, go to the website. I'm always telling you, go to the website. But the response was they got more people sign up for it than they expected. And that's just amazing to me. That's absolutely amazing. In this time, in this crazy year of 2020, people stood up and supported the foundation that does so many good things. And I'm really proud to be a supporter of it, and have family members that have supported me and supported the foundation throughout the year. So anyway, again, if even one of you even looked at the website, I really appreciate generating clicks and activity and traffic on the website. So thank you. The shirt is in. It's awesome. And I'm going to wear it with pride. So we'll real quick do a recap. I wanted to follow up on my birthday. I got some awesome gear. I am going to have a separate video for the hydration pack. I wore it on my long run this week. I wore it on a 3-mile run, and then I wore it on the long 11-mile run this past weekend. So I'll get a separate gear review for you guys for that. And this, by the way, in case you didn't know, is a Super Secret Tuesday edition. So I did a complete rest day yesterday, did absolutely nothing yesterday, and did a quick 3-mile run today. And we'll get into that. So this is the week 10 recap. So last week, you know what happened. I tried to make up some time and everything got switched around. So I hit the ground running on Tuesday. And then same old stuff happened. We got some lousy weather this week. Not only lousy weather as far as rain and the runs got pushed out, it got hot again here in Central Florida. I think I mentioned that last video, but it definitely got hot again. So I believe I did the Tuesday run on Tuesday, and then the Wednesday run got pushed. I forget. I'd have to look in my phone to double check. But did the 3-mile run, then a 5-mile pace run, and it was blazing hot out. It was super humid, super hot. Again, I set out pretty good. I had the title of this video this week should be runs that were cut short. I did 3.1. I did 4 instead of 5. I did the Thursday run on Friday, which was a 3-mile. I probably did 3.1 or something like that. Then the rest day was Saturday, right? Yeah, and then the 11-mile run was on Sunday. So what I did was on Sunday, I got all geared up and asked my wife to drive me out beachside. So drove out to, there's this nice little county parking lot and shower and bathroom for the beach. It's the Tornito Avenue beach access. They got a beautiful facility there. Got, you know, your standard beach showers for your feet and rinsing off. And I think like 4 maybe bathrooms. I think 4. Yeah, 4 or 6 bathrooms. And they got a big parking lot there. So Darlene dropped me off there, and she took the boys to go catch sunset on the river at another park. So I took off from that parking lot and headed south, kind of along the route of the way the half marathon is going to be, and then cut through that park that they were going to go through, because it actually extends. There's a riverside, there's a road, there's the big park, there's Atlantic, I believe it's called, and then there's the beach. So there's the dunes and the beach. So the park actually goes from river to ocean, and just has the 2 roads cutting in between, but there's clear paths and everything. So you can actually park on the riverside and hike through the park. Yeah, hike through the park to get to the ocean. So anyway, so I cut through where you can hike there, and I saw that their car was still there. So I ran down to the riverside to see if I can catch them, just for fun. And I knew the mileage was supposed to be 11. And when we got to the Tornito Avenue beach access, it was only about 8.4 miles. So I knew I'd have to run south a little bit and make up 2 or 3 miles. And I did. So I went out and caught them, and they had just seen the sunset, and it was fun. Apparently Jacob and Cooper were telling Mom, I think that's Daddy running. I think that's Daddy. Because there's a long boardwalk out there from the parking lot out to the actual Halifax River. So they were like, I think that's Daddy. I think that's Daddy. And then as I got closer, I could hear Darlene go, oh my God, it is Daddy. Holy cow. So anyway, I stopped to see them for like 3 seconds and then took off back. And then they, of course, drove past me in the car and said hello. And anyway, so it was neat to kind of include them on the run sometimes. And so what I did was I basically headed back. So I was basically 8 miles away from the house, and I had no choice but to run home, right? So the path that this takes me is over the causeway, the Dunlawton Causeway. So for those of you who are familiar with the area, there's the sandbar, which is the beach, there's the river or the intracoastal, and the mainland. And so any of the major towns, or even some of the not so major towns, have a bridge from the mainland to the ocean side. We have one main one in our town, and it's the last one before the inlet and before you get to New Smyrna Beach. So it's the Dunlawton Causeway, and it's technically A1A. You know the rest of it. A1A comes through Daytona, crosses over Dunlawton, goes down US 1, and then cuts back into New Smyrna down there. I believe it's A1A continues. I believe it continues in New Smyrna. Either way, it doesn't matter. But it is A1A up by us. So I run over the Dunlawton, and I was going to cut through some of the back roads that I know, and it was just super dark. There was no moon. It was super humid, super hot. So I was just like, I'm just going to do straight line as best I can. And basically got back to the house. It was 10.5 miles, and I said, I'm done. It's supposed to be an 11-mile run. 10.5 is damn close enough to 11 miles for me. I'm going in, I'm hydrating, because it was a brutal run. Just the heat and the humidity really got to me. Pace-wise, I was okay for the vast majority of it, except for the last couple miles. First 2 miles were good, probably too fast for the type of run I was doing. They were in the 8-minute range. I think I did like 8:20, 8:30, then like 8:50. And then the rest of them were right around 9:30, 9:45, something like that. And then over the causeway was 10 minutes and 22 seconds, that mile. And again, the causeway isn't a full mile, but that mile that included the causeway was like 10 minutes and 22 seconds. And then I think I had one more mile in the 9s, and then the last 2, I believe, the last 2 or 3 maybe were 10-minute miles. And I was pushing. I was really struggling. And so, that's the way it goes. I really have to work hard to get back on track as far as my schedule. And as far as doing the right runs at the right time, the right day, doing the cross training, getting the rest days set up, I only have one more week of this. So, I mean, basically the last week is a taper week. So there's not, that's really the key for me to rest. But this last week, I have one more long run to really get myself geared up for the half marathon. And I need to make sure that I'm right. So that's what we're really focusing on this week in week 11. So it's the same pattern that we've seen throughout. Got 60-minute cross, which I didn't get to do. That was pushed out. Got the 11-mile run that day, as I mentioned. Monday was a rest day, on pace, on target, and today was a 3-mile run. Tomorrow is a straight 5-mile run, not a pace run, just a 5-mile run. Thursday, is it? Yeah, it's Tuesday. Holy cow, I just tripped myself out. That's Tuesday already. Yeah, tomorrow, Wednesday, is the 5-mile run. Thursday is the 3-mile run. Friday is a rest day. Saturday is 12 miles. So I have to get this back on track. I have to keep this moving forward as we have it right now. It has to go to plan. It's the last 2 weeks. What I wanted to talk about this week is the length of this plan. This is a long plan, and for me, these are the weeks where it's gone to shit for me in the past. I have been so much more diligent and so much more on plan this year, and you've heard me tell you about how it's been shuffled around due to weather and how I've missed cross train days. But compared to prior years, I am so much more on plan than I was at this time the last 2 or 3 plans that I've done. I've swapped a lot less than I had to in previous plans. And that's just, because I didn't have the result the last time. I think I'm really putting a priority on that, not doing it unless it's for weather or something. So I think I'm in really good shape. I got to do a lot of foam rolling this week. I think so my quads are feeling really tight after that 11-mile run. Despite the rest and trying to get extra sleep and things like that. Definitely going to be hitting the foam roller and hydrating like crazy. I used the hydration vest. They're 12 fluid ounces each. So I had one in each side, and I had energy gels with me as well. So I had 6 energy gels, which I forget. I used Cliff blocks. So like the Cliff Bar, that company, they make gels, and they're 6 blocks. And the super fuel, the scratch fuel in the 24 ounces of fluid. And then when I got back home, I had 20 ounces of fluid. And when I weighed myself, I was down 8 pounds. So that's a lot through 11 miles. Again, there was a couple days, a week and a half ago, where I was running. I was like, man, I feel like I barely broke a sweat. And then on this run, it's just gross, just absolutely gross out. I know I always complain about the weather, and I'm sorry, but it's what I do, right? So anyway, I lost 8 pounds, and when I got back, I didn't feel like eating. I ran at night, so it was cooler than it had been during the day, but I didn't feel like eating. So I eventually, forced myself to eat. I weighed myself pre-run. I was 204. When I got back, I was 196. And then when I woke up, or when I weighed myself Monday, I was still 200 pounds. So I was still down 4 pounds from my pre-run. And at one point, I was speaking to my wife, and I was like forcing myself to drink water. Like I just, I didn't want any more water. I wasn't thirsty at all, but I was forcing myself to drink it. So thankfully, by this point, I'm back, back to where I was. In fact, I think before I went to bed last night, I think I was like 208. So I really hit it hard yesterday once I started feeling like eating. So, that's the tricky thing is, the last thing you want to do for me on a super, super hot run as like stuff your face. You know, after a 5K, you know, I've done some 5Ks where, you know, they got free bananas, free oranges, free bagels. They got Dunkin' Donuts there, and they got coffee, they got smoothies. I'm shoveling stuff in my face, you know. But after 11 miles in the heat, the last thing I want to look at is food. So anyway, that's what we're looking at this week. I appreciate you guys letting me gripe a little bit about my my public service announcement. It's really important, really, to be communicative when you're driving. You see people on a bike or running in those crosswalks. I really appreciate you guys keeping an eye out for us and giving us some leeway. It's a nice courtesy, and we really appreciate it. Trust me, I'll speak for everyone out there. Sometimes it's confusing and you're not really sure, so I just let people go. But you extending the courtesy of at least offering really means a lot to me. So I'll speak for the vast majority of people to say thank you. And if you can do more communications, even better. You know, a wave or stick your hand out the window, whatever. Really appreciate it. But that's it. That's the recap. Week 10. Really looking forward to getting this week under my belt. Next week, I'll be talking to you, let you know how my 12-mile run goes. And I do have a hydration pack review video that's going to be coming up. And then I also have some other videos that I've been working on that I'll be putting out as well. So keep an eye out for those. Have basically a week and a half left until the race. And we're going to be wrapping up the half marathon training series. I really appreciate you guys watching these, and all the support, all the comments, all the thumbs up, all the views. Really appreciate you guys. Any issues, questions, gear, all of that, please comment down below. That's what I'm here for. I'm new to this stuff, vaguely speaking. A lot of you folks have a lot more experience or some tricks that I don't know, or maybe people watching this video don't know. So put it down below. I'll talk about it. I appreciate it. In fact, on one of them, I gotta get it out. Some guy sent me a message saying he has a book that he wrote, and it's called Run Daddy Run. So I'm gonna check that out and link it to you guys maybe next video. So thanks, appreciate it, guys. Love you. See ya.